Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a complaint comp problem situation. I don't really know. I know that I think I might have accidentally uploaded my notes to Fnatic somehow because we land on the same answers often. Uh, but not quite. So Fnatic and Foot played this match on Corrode, and they should have won. I had I had some issues with some things going on in there, but that's not what this is about. I want to talk about the pairing of Vice and KO, not the game. I don't. This isn't a match review situation. There's just some things about these two that I love this combo, and I'm glad that Fnatic explored this, and I hope that they don't drop this pairing and cause this to be and think this is the issue. I have problems with really the selection of these two out of the comp. Uh, so that's kind of what I want to talk about. So let's see if I can switch scenes here. All right. Um, the way Fnatic have both KO and Vice is pretty simple. And this is the way that I think it's played, or should be played rather. You have Vice on B, and this is just universal, but since we're on Corrode, just want to talk about a Corrode, that this should be winning. Like, just straight up, this comp should win. Uh, there's few things I find that can just stop this. So, if you look at Outfair, most of his comp setup was something similar to this, and I actually have a problem with this too. Sets up the arc rows over here, really, because of what you're playing into in the meta. Like, yeah, you're doing it here, but if you think about like what duelist it usually is here, which is waylay double dashing, waylay tends to look this way and this way after dashing in first. So if you have your arc rows here, they're already half turned the flash by then. So I think you need to be considering on this wall here, just based off of the duelist. But the way that Alfier has arc rows, it's something along here, and we're gonna play some footage too. And this isn't the problem. This is where I want to talk about this comp should just win hard on defense like it did. It got 10-2. With just these two agents alone, this should be doing the thing. And another reason, well, actually, I want to talk about another reason that this arc row should be over here in a second. But quite simply, how do you get past somebody triggering the wall and then once the wall is going down, getting knifed, and there's two slows? I, quite frankly, you shouldn't be getting past that. And this is another one where I'm not sure how comfy Fnatic is because Vekash played it well. This isn't like Vekash's problem, but they weren't min maxing it to the fullest potential. It was as soon as the wall went up, we throw knife. Instead, it should be as soon as wall is coming down, throw knife to buy a couple of more seconds on top of the slow popping after we know that the suppress is probably coming through, like the second slow. Instead of popping one of the slows after a waylay has gotten in here to trigger the wall, it's a little bit odd timing on some of the things that they did here. But I do want to talk about the other one. Why you might want to consider this is because if you're going to have the KO playing mid, which you should, if you're going to have a Vice in this composition, whether it be Corrode, whether it be I don't haven't really gone through all the maps that I think this pairing works on, and I am going to come back to the rest of the comp. But the other thing is, if you have your KO here and you have the arc rows here, that means that the KO can have a flash here, and the places that people are looking here this way and this way, once they get into the site, they should be getting flashed. And again, if you have the arc rows here, and people are, let's give us an enemy waylay again. Fuck it. No, just who's somebody else that comes in. All right, we'll do Sova. Sova comes in. Sova is clearing, looking this way. This flash is already only getting half, so you need to be thinking about throwing a high flash this way, um, and then covering your ass with an arc rose this way. Like that's off of this wall. That way it can get people looking this way on top of somebody looking directly this way, right? Because they're coming in, they have to look this way while they're coming in, or at least holding for somebody as they're clearing this. Um, but that's kind of my gripe about the setup of how this was implemented. But going back to that, I do want to show 2 rounds as to why it works. Starting with um, a thrifty that you'd go, yeah, there was a lucky shot, but we should talk about the thing in it. Starting now.
Three bodies towards top mid. Crashies, Odin in hand. Baha with a divided his own. Completely cut off B site here.
Completely cut off Zeus from the others. Ults on ults galore. Thank God for free cam at this point, but the site will be in the hands of Foot, right? So Plant's going to come in, what sort of space do they take? Focus towards that CT side, get a little bit of a deeper hold behind the divide. Now it's a turn of Fnatic to try and build back in, and we've been complimentary of their approach. That is a bit of a mistake. Why have they done what Fnatic just did? Line up and just stand in front of each other, getting desperate for control on CT, leaving just 2 standing. And Fnatic given the keys to the castle to pull off this retake, unless Mr. Fallen goes absolutely nuclear, which is so unlikely now seen. Turns a flash, puts Boaster down into his place, but he's lost sight, and they've lost the round.
Alright, so in that clip, you see it happen. Like, Fnatic is on a low buy, and yet somehow they still pull it off. Yes, it does come with an insane Guardian double kill here, right? Well, I forget who was right there immediate. Like, yeah, yes, that does certainly help. But if you notice, that gives time to get all the way around, all the way time around. They come back. Even there's an Omen situation over here. This setup gives enough time to get to the problem. Once things are going off, this gives you time to get there. But while I'm over here glazing the situation of how simple this is, wall go up, they can't get past impenetrable wall. Wall should be going down, you suppress them. They can now not entry with a suppress and a slow. That's it's simple. That's the order of things that should be happening. Flash should only be going off again. Then you have flashes here. This should be just hard thing, right? Hard. Not hard thing. That's pause, but hard stall. But I do want to talk about the selection of the other agents because there's another one that really plays a good part here. That's Astra. But for the purposes of this, I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, these 3 should win. Like, yeah, they should, but I think you could also do something else here. So another one that goes into the comp green light list out of me is Astra, because on the flip side, you then have that Gravity Well on top of the suppress and the slow. So whatever side you manage to play these 2 together, this should be another layer of you cannot get into the site wherever that may be. And if it's over here, that should be enough of a stall for Fnatic to get back here and get in. That's just why they're playing on the B side of things. I think that you could reasonably rotate this over here, right? I would believe that this is still possible. Then have your KO play here, and if the wall goes off, You can come here, and then you can throw it against this wall. Then they have to come back a little bit, but it's just easier to do it here because as you can see, the space is tighter. It'll clear more things. But in dire straits, you can still pop off with it. Again, that's just for that portion, right? Gravity well, suck, gives you time to get over there. So I like the implementation of Astra here. The things that I don't like are the duelist and the chosen initiator, because the secondary initiator, well, primary, I guess. Um, it's the Waylay and the Silva that I'm not too fond of in this comp. Because I do want to talk about the attack where they lost it all, or what you could do on the attack. Like, again, they got 10-2 on defense. They just needed 3 rounds and it slipped, but that's not just because of the comp. That's because I don't know how they didn't see it, including the coaching staff. But um, if you're going to run these 3, and then if you really want to run these 4, it shouldn't be Sova, if you ask me. It should have been Tejo. That way you can do all the same things. I guess I should make it ally. Whoops. Uh, if you're going to do this, then it should be this. You already have a flash for these follow-up entries. You have suppress, that way you can take down shit. But I think that one thing people aren't understanding about Waylay is that, yeah, we've seen 100 Thieves do the, oh, the saturate. Why did I grab the wrong ability? Saturate. Oh, saturate, and then you can do Hunter's Fury on top of that. Or you can do, where the fuck are you? The Brimstone ult on top of that. But quite frankly, the same way that you throw the flash over here, they run back here, like the same KO situation that we've seen where you throw the flash over the wall and you go, whoa, oh, spaghettios. You can just make this missiles. You can just make it missiles in pretty much any comp. I think that, and I've already talked about how I believe that KO Tejo is the truth. But that's if you really want to do the Waylay here. I think it should have been a Tejo. And especially if it's Tejo, we know that Tejo Astra is good too. So the same way, suck for the post plant, and that's kind of where this is leading into the attack side. Suck, spike down, suck, stars. That's not stars. Got it. Salvos. Right. We've seen it. We've seen Astra Tejo for a while now. You don't need me to go too far into that. But that's where it's confusing. Now, if you wanted to play the Sova, I personally, when I'm looking at these 3 or what I had down, it needed to be somebody completely different. It needed to be Yoru. I I will say, if you want to play the Sova, it should have been Yoru. For similar purposes of the, oh, you get Astral Wall, you tuck into Astral Wall situation, pop out, or you clear the site and you Hunter's Fury the person. So it felt like a mismatch of what was going on, and we'll make Waylay red again because that's what they had. But I feel like if you're going to have these 3, the comp needed to be one of these 2 options on the back end. I didn't particularly love Waylay Sova as the ending answer for these. I would have much rather preferred Waylay Tejo if you were to ask me how you round out the composition. But I do want to flip it to the attack, so let's clear the abilities, and wonder how do you attack with this composition? So, the thing that was driving me mad in the game is that you have Boaster showing at times when he really shouldn't show on Astra because nobody's buying that it's not going to be on the other side because it's Boaster showing. So that was one thing that was driving me mad. But also, they kind of just kept leaving this and this. It was infuriating because you see that Foot got behind you really quickly. If they're already behind you while you're still trying to exec in the last couple of seconds for whatever fucking reason we're still doing that, um, that means that they have obtained information that you're not in the other spaces really quickly. Like if it's all of you grouped up here ready for the B exec at the last 10 seconds, but you already have an enemy fucking who did they have again? Whatever. Waylay right here on your ass while you're execing. That means that they got information here and here and you all still aren't in. But coming to the combo of what should be happening, uh, as to why I like this pairing, you'll see it that once they try to get in sights, you should be doing what you can do with both of these agents, KO, well actually all three again, KO, Vice, and Astra, is that you trap people in. You get to trap people in to your bullshit and make it easier. Gravity well, do they want to try to get out of the site while there's a gravity well going? No, can't really do that. Do they want to walk through a molly? Probably not. Can they walk through the slow damaging? They can try, but not just in this situation where it's gravity suck here and nade there, but same way here. There should be a lineup to have the thorns down, and if they're really trying to get out of the site, this should be damaging. Or, since you do have Astra and Vice, this should be going somewhere to clear a spot that since you're playing Waylay, your Waylay should not have to check. Instead, we have Kayak having to, and for whatever reason, I don't know why the pathing was like over here. Should be here. I didn't get that, but um, when you have these three, you should be doing the I'm trapping you in or it hurts, right? Especially if you have Waylay, dash in, saturate, nade that person there. These whoever was trying to get out can't get out, as well as getting flash support up here, right? Like that's how it should have been going down, and that's why again I would have liked that this be a Tejo for even more of oh, if you think this is how they are, if they are trying to fast get off of the site, you punish them for it. But again, we've seen Astra Tejo in the post plant. We've seen how gross that can be. But the other thing is with Vice, KO, Astra, is that they need to get onto the site. They need to get onto the site and start that quickly because they, every second that passes, are at risk of the bomb going off once you get it down. And if that knife, once that comes back up, just goes, congrats, you're suppressed. You can't get in between thorns. You should be saving one of the thorns, right? Whether that be here or here. They can't get in between thorns and being suppressed, and then still having to worry about Astra pull on the spike while you're trying to defuse, or then guided salvos. That's again, ideally, I would have liked to see Waylay Tejo to finish out the comp. Why, if we're going to put this comp together, I didn't really uh, love that. But before we close this out, I did want to show one more round of how it should go. How on defense, this comp, we're just going to clear all the abilities, should just work. So we'll round it out with what I think was probably better looking uh, out of like instead of needing a miracle shot, this is how it should work.
No.
Like I said, Fnatic haven't been taking risks other than the one push out from B main by Kayak, but yeah, Alpha's just waiting
Look
for the
at this.
moment to let it rip.
And yeah, not getting through. Look
Just
at this.
countered, yeah.
Look at this. It's instant.
Hunter's Fury to connect. Cancel the TP.
Brilliant.
Good trade of ultimates there.
Love that.
30 seconds left.
And we're down to what, 28 seconds, and they're just getting into the site. So it takes a while to get past this sort of util. Alpha knowingly giving up a fair amount of space, should be relayed and been made aware towards the likes of Crashy, so they have to be a bit cautious here. But Kayak in the meantime going to catch what I assume trying to work through middle, leaving just the 3 on the site. This is where it gets tough. 3v5.
Huge advantage here for Fnatic. He has to go huge. Who's going to find the first one?
Last player standing.
And it's just
Second hurdle.
numbers.
Yeah.
Man, this is tough.
Now, sure, you could argue that ults came out so that, yeah, the ults, woo, they pushed the round over too. But let's be honest, the round was done once the ult trade happened. You got Fade Nightfall come in, yeah, immediately canceled by Vice's ult. Like, you can't get into that. That's 1-for-1. The round was already done. Yes, it does help that Crashy's got a pick with Hunter's Fury, and then Vakhaz also had a pick, and that put KO ult online. But again, there's that also. I didn't really touch on the ult part here, but you should just be winning post plants and defense between having an ult that takes away the weapons and an ult that takes away the abilities. It's pretty simple. Vice plus KO equals should be free win. Look, there's some things, but I'm gonna leave it there because I just hope that this comes back into fashion in some manner or form. But yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.